For week 2, we're going to install CentOS 7. If you go into Microcomputer Operating Systems course, go under Lectures and Lessons, go under Section 2, you'll have a lab rewrite for the book. So you should have read Section 2 of the book, and instead of doing the labs at the back, open up this PDF file. The reason that we're doing a rewrite of the labs is for some of the following reasons. Here, most businesses use Red Hat Enterprise Linux. They provide a 24-hour technical support for a fee. So businesses that require to be up all the time or need immediate assistance and need some engineer to talk to, Red Hat is a great choice. CentOS is what we're going to use in this class. The reason, it's a direct copy of Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So all of the tools and techniques will be the same as if you're running the actual Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So one thing is it's free, it doesn't cost us anything, but why doesn't everybody use it? It does not have business class technical support. You can't pick up the phone at 2 o'clock in the morning and get help. It's used in enterprises to test and develop an infrastructure before they go live with Red Hat Enterprise. So that means if they're going to test out a new server, a new website or something like that, they can try it out on CentOS before that they put it into production on a paid version of Red Hat Enterprise. Now Fedora is what the book talks about. Also notice the name, Fedora is a type of hat. So yes, Red Hat or Fedora, they're both the same people, same company. What is Fedora? It's the bleeding edge technology. It's not stable, and it's only supported for a month after the second version comes out. So example, Fedora 20 in our book that they talk about will not be supported after June 20th of 2015. That's because Fedora 22, 2 versions later, is going to be released May 20th of 2015. So we are rewriting all the labs to go with Cent, because this here is a long-term support. It'll be supported well past 2020. Now, let's go back and look at Section 2. If you open up the lab, you'll see these projects should be completed in the order given, and they should take roughly 3 hours to complete. So, I need to make sure that your computer meets the hardware requirements and that you have downloaded CentOS 7. You should have done that in week 1 already. So let's start off with project 2-1. We'll need to start up a virtualization software and create a new virtual machine. So let's open up Oracle VirtualBox. Here in Oracle VirtualBox, we'll want to create a new virtual machine. Again, yours will probably be blank. So we'll click on the New button. And following the instructions, we want to name this CentOS 7. It automatically chooses Linux, Red Hat 64. If yours does not, change the type to Linux. Change the type to Red Hat 64. If you don't have 64 as an option, you need to turn on virtualization support in your BIOS, and also make sure that your motherboard and CPU are both compatible with 64-bit architecture and virtualization. So hit next. Change the amount of RAM to 2 gigabytes. That is 2048 megabytes. Do not use an odd size or the machine will run extremely slow. Hit next. We'll create a new hard drive. We'll go with the default. Hit next. We'll do dynamic so that it won't take up an instant 60 gig chunk out of your hard disk. It'll grow as we add stuff to it. The instructions say change it to 60 gigabytes. So make sure it's 60.00 GB. We'll hit create, and it is now created for you. I've already done some playing in the past, so that's why I have other virtual machines. Now it's time to start. Click the green Start. Similar to week 1, we'll have to select a startup disk. You'll pick the folder icon and browse to your downloads where did you have your CentOS 7 or wherever that you have copied your CentOS 7 ISO DVD. Click on Open. Now click on Start. The virtual machine will start. It has an automatic countdown timer. I'm going to click inside with my mouse, and as in the first video, you can use your right control key on the keyboard in VirtualBox to release it. Other virtualization software will have another hotkey. It is already highlighted on Test This Media. Notice if I hit the up arrow, the highlight white goes up to install CentOS 7, or down, it goes back to Test This Media and install CentOS 7. We're wanting to test the media. This will verify that the ISO file downloaded correctly. Hit Enter. After a few seconds, it will start checking, and you want to wait till the very end to verify that there are no errors. If there is an error, you will want to re-download the ISO image. Please contact me if you have an error. Through the magic of video, I will speed up the process of checking for the corrupted ISO image. Once it is finished checking and there is no error, it will start the installer. Once the graphical installer loads, it will ask you for your language. By default, it's already on English, United States. You'll hit Continue. In here, the first thing that we will do is click on Network and Hostname. We'll slide the Ethernet to On. We will change the host name to Server 1. And leave the .local domain on there. We'll then hit the Done in the upper left corner. Next, we will change the date and time. And we'll pick Chicago. I'll also turn off network time. I'm going to change it to 24-hour AM PM. With those settings changed, I'm going to click Done. Your mouse may be a little bit choppy, and at times you may have to hit the Control key to release it and get it back on your screen, and then click back inside. This will be the case until we install guest editions in the next video. Now we will make our software selections. Here we're going to install Server with a GUI. We're also going to check on KDE. Network File System Client. Print Server. Remote Desktop Client. And Development Tools. Then we'll click Done. It'll take a few seconds to check for what we have selected. Now we will click Installation Destination. Here we will click I will configure partitioning. Click Done. On this screen, change the drop-down from LVM to Standard Partition. You'll click the plus. the mount point. It says select / desired capacity 30 GB. Click add mount point. Now we will click the plus again. We will select swap, and the desired capacity is 4 GB or gigabytes. Add mount point. We'll have free space. Remember, we selected 60 gig partition, so we'll have roughly 27.5 gig available to play with partitioning tools later in the course. Now you will click done and click accept changes. At this point, we're ready to click begin installation. While it is installing, you can set the root password. The root password should be pass1234 with a capital P. You have to type it and confirm it, and then click done. And click done one more time to accept that it is a weak password. We can create a user account. We'll create a username. We'll give him a name of sample user 1, and we'll change his username to user1, all lowercase. For the password, we'll name it secret and confirm, S-E-C-R-E-T. We'll have to click done twice. And now we will wait for the installation to complete. At the end of the installation, you'll click Reboot in the lower right corner. After the reboot is complete, it will take a couple of minutes. I sped it up via video magic, and you'll have to click the license information, check I accept, and click done in the upper left corner. Now you'll click finish configuration. It will come up and ask to enable KDump or not. We are going to uncheck this feature and click forward in the lower right corner. And this time we'll click yes to the dialog box that comes up. And then we'll click OK. And the system will restart another time. Once the system fully starts after a few minutes, you'll want to take a screenshot showing your installation is complete. You will use the snipping tool as found in the previous week's video. So use snip. On the snipping tool, you'll click New, Window Snip, just like we did before. Click on the title bar of the VirtualBox. It creates a screenshot, and as it says, save this as project 2-1.png. So go to File, Save As, type project 2-1.png, click Save. This will be one of your screenshots for this week. We'll watch the other videos and continue reading the lab for turning in other screenshots.